What does a 50% increase in the adoption rate of AI in just 6 months and 78% of surveyed small business owners saying they don't fully trust AI to handle basic tasks without checking it mean for us as small business owners? That's what I'm discussing today. I've got some ideas, I've got some thoughts, and I've got some stuff that you guys can take away with you. See you soon. Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine, it's your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 747. It is Mindset Monday, and I'm going to be talking more about AI because AI is the topic of the day, month, week, and year so far. Today, I want to talk about a report I saw, some of the statistics that came out of that report, and what that means for us as small business owners and what we can take from it and how we can shape our mindset around it. How we can shape our mindset. That's possibly the best way of saying that. Let me just get into it. There's a lot of stats here. Some of them I found a little confusing. Look, I'm not a stats person. I always like to see things visually, and I sometimes have trouble when I get numbers on the page. So if I muck the stats up, I am sorry. I'm trying my best here. Let's just get into it. Bluevine's 2026 SMB AI Trends report. Yes, it's a mouthful, and it's also full of jargon. Came out in April 2026. It surveyed 942 US small business owners. Now, 942 small business owners, it's not a huge number, especially out of the US. It's still a large enough sample to give us some really good stats to work with. So I just want to highlight that bit. What did the survey find? What were the results of the survey? Okay. It found, first of all, that 74% of small business owners are already using AI tools or testing them. Not really a surprise. What was a little surprising to me is that the adoption rate had jumped 50% amongst active users in just 6 months. So it's been a little bit flat by the sounds of it, and then sort of got a bit of a ramp up, a really steep ramp up as more and more people take it on. Now, I'm going to address that shortly about what I think about that. As an aside, just interesting piece of information. Claude was the fastest growing tool by a huge margin. Not going to repeat the number. I want to make sure that number is right because it's one of those numbers you look at, you say that can't be right. But it was a huge number. Now, there were several questions asked, but two questions that came out that really interested me. When asked directly, 78% of those surveyed said they don't fully trust AI to handle basic tasks without checking it. So it's a direct question. 78% said, no, we don't trust AI to handle basic tasks without checking it. Cool. Now, in a separate question, 82% reported that they had at least one barrier to going deeper or using AI at all, because it's 82%. There's only 74% using it, so there's got to be some that aren't using it. So to using it at all or using it further or deeper in their business. Out of those barriers, there were only two things. Well, there were two things that really hit the highest numbers. 33% of that group said data security concerns are a high barrier. Now that's up 23%. So are they worried about the security of their data? Yes, 33% of that group who said there was a barrier to adopting it or taking it further, and that was data security concerns. 31% distrusted AI's accuracy as well. So that sort of matches in with that 78% at the top, but they're different because the questions were asked differently. So there's two things that we're seeing come out of it. One is my data safe? And the second one is, can I trust the data? I'm going to come back to those two questions soon. It's not, they're not the questions though. That's not the thing that I found interesting. What I did find interesting is that we're seeing a increase in the adoption of AI, but we're seeing the trust in AI either plateau or start to drop off. It's moving in the opposite direction. And that's fascinating to me. And I wanted to think about why and what does that mean for us as small business owners? Well, let's talk about the fact that we saw a 50% increase in active users in just 6 months and what I think that might mean. Is that because most business owners adopted AI because everyone else was? Not because they had made a call about where it fits in their business, just everyone's using it. I should be using it in my business too. I have to keep up. Did they feel like they were falling behind, that they had to keep up? Potentially. Now, to me, that's the same as hiring someone you're not sure about yet and just giving them free rein and giving the keys to everything and say, yeah, just go do your job and no one's going to check on you and no one's going to walk beside you and shadow you and make sure things are working. Just go do your job. And you're trusting someone that you're not sure about yet to go and do their job without having any checkpoints in place, any checks in place. Now, a sensible employer in that situation would bring on a new hire and they decide what they can handle on their own and what still needs checking and what still needs shadowing and assistance with. The other thing that we have wanted to highlight is that we saw security concerns and accuracy concerns being raised as barriers to doing more, and they seem to be treated as one vague unease, but they are two different problems. Security is, as I said, can I trust it with my data? Can I trust AI with my data? And accuracy is, can I trust what AI tells me when it gives me my results? These are two totally separate problems. They require different answers and different approaches and their own checks. And it's really important that we as business owners make sure we understand that. And when we say, can I trust AI? What do we mean by can I trust AI? What are we trusting it with? And what do we need it to do? And what do we need to do to make sure we can answer that question appropriately? Okay, so what's the mindset things that come out of it? Well, I think we should stop asking, should I be using AI? And start asking, what am I using it for and what am I trusting it to do? Trust. That word is coming up a lot at the moment. Confidence doesn't come from blind faith in the tool itself and say, yes, it can do everything. It doesn't, and it doesn't come from the opposite of refusing to touch it either. Confidence comes from knowing exactly where that boundary sits. We need to manage our AI tools the same way we'd manage a new hire. I don't like equating it to people, but I guess if I was bringing on a tool as well, I'd be saying the same thing. If I was bringing on implementing a new tool, I'd be saying the same thing. We need to decide what the tool can handle early, on its own early, and what still needs shadowing and covering and checking of its output. Now, that boundary of trust, that trust boundary is going to grow or move. Maybe it'll shrink sometimes too. But it's going to move as the more we use that tool. I was going to say as the tool proves itself, but the more we use that tool. And the more we use that tool in specific tasks. We're not just going to say, okay, it's doing this one task really, really well, so now I'm going to trust it to do everything. Now, if you want to know why you wouldn't do that, go back and listen to the episode where I talk about the Meta exec who let her Claude bot run free on her mailbox and see what happened. It's kind of where she fell down. She trusted it to do one thing and gave it a whole thing, something else, and it went off the rails. So we don't just trust broadly. We trust very specifically, we test very specifically, and we start to increase that trust very, very slowly and give it more and more and more very slowly so that we can check it and make sure it's working. The question isn't, is this safe in general? The question should be, is what am I handing over and what happens if it gets it wrong? Okay. How does that look to us as business owners on a day-to-day bonus? Well, but bonus on a day-to-day basis. Sorry, it's getting late. It's been a long day for me. How does that look for us on a day-to-day basis? Well, I think we can pick one task that AI is doing in our business right now, or if we're not using AI or we don't think we're using it properly, one task where we think AI can do something for us. Define exactly what we're going to trust it with, the data it sees, the decisions it's making, or the words it's putting in front of a customer. We're going to define what checks we run every time the task runs versus what we're comfortable with just letting run and doing periodic checks on it later. And we're going to be honest about which category each task actually belongs in. And what that's going to let us do is say what we trust the tool to be doing. Because if we can't say this is what we trust the tool to do, that's the problem. That's the barrier that we're going to come up against, not the tool. The tool might not be any good. But if we don't have a benchmark for it, and that benchmark is this is what we're going to trust it to do. If we don't have that benchmark, how do we know the tool is any good or not? How do we know it's doing the job that we've employed it to do? That's it, guys. Like I said, there were some really interesting statistics in there, and I'm really gratified to hear that, people are actually taking data security and AI really seriously. I think that's fantastic. I'd like to see that continue. I'm going to encourage you all to be paranoid about what data you're giving your AI access to. And I'm going to ask you, sit down and do some of these things with the tools that you're using and see if you can help yourself improve how that's helping your business. I would really like to know what you think of all of this. Are you using AI in your business? Are you having trouble? Have you had trouble defining where you want, you've got to use it? Are you one of those people like, I know I should be using it so I can keep up, but I don't know where I want to use it? Where are you at? I'd love to know. Leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to this video. If you found it useful, interesting, whatever, give it a like and share it with a friend. I would really appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. If you want to, of course, I'd be very, very grateful if you do. And remember, I'm a tech wrangler. I help people sort this sort of stuff out. I can sit down and go through what's your process? How does this work? What are we going to do? How can we break this down into something that you can use a tool to do, if that's of interest, if that's what you want to do. I'm a tech wrangler. I'm here to help you. If you need help, you can reach out. You can go to askcharlyleetham.com. Click the bright pink button in the top right-hand corner and book a free 30-minute breakthrough session. We can go through what your concerns are, and I'll give you as much value as I can in that 30 minutes. If you've already used your 30-minute breakthrough session and you want to keep working with me, thank you very much. I would love to work with you. Reach out to me. I've got a number of ways we can work together, and I like to tailor things so that it works for all of us. That's it for this episode. I hope it was interesting. I will see you on Wednesday for Walkthrough Wednesday. Enjoy playing with your AI tools, guys. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.